night in the judo class, I sparred 2 times. I got the snot beat out of me like 5 million times. They kept submitting me. I'm not used to the heat. I'm not used to wearing the judo uniform. I'm not used to judo rules. I'm not very good at submissions. And on top of that, I'm just terrible. So there you go. 2 guys, less than half my size, beat me up. That is the power of judo. Jiro Kano! Judo people everywhere seem to do these types of drills just over and over thousands of times per day, going through the steps, setting up the throws. And I guess that's why they're good. I've only been doing judo a few weeks, so I'm definitely no expert and I have no idea what judo is really supposed to look like. But to me, what I've seen in the Cambodian team compared to what I saw in New York, what I see in China, and what I saw in Thailand, I have to say the Cambodians just look a lot rougher. It just looks like a rough and tumble kind of judo, and it really appeals to me. It's like a street fight with pajamas. Watching those guys doing all that hardcore sparring really made me want to jump in there and do that with them. But unfortunately, I still have to learn my judo basics, like the silly throws and positions and stuff, when all I really want to do is fight. But I want to fight well, so I gotta learn this stuff. One of the biggest differences between wrestling and judo is that judo is martial art, and you learn step by step, and there's a curriculum and a syllabus, and there's drills, and there's a way that you learn it. And unfortunately, you have to start at the beginning, or else there's no other way. But learning these basic techniques while everybody else is having fun, fighting and sparring, makes me feel like I'm sitting on the porch with my training wheels while the other kids are drag racing up and down the street. That throw is really strange. I've never learned anything like that before, where your foot is coming inside like that. First time ever. But it's interesting. She showed me the steps. I tried it a few times. She goes, okay, never mind. Because, you know, I think the goal is like you learn step by step by step, and it takes years. And that's kind of the right way to do it, rather than beating a dead horse. I'm a dead horse. The technique where you grab both the wrists like that, both the arms, the sleeves, I've never seen that before. First time. Man. I'd love to do this technique to a guy who's not wearing a shirt. You know, just grab a double handful of his skin and throw him right over your shoulder. You know, I'm not a particularly gifted athlete to begin with. I have no coordination, no balance. I'm not particularly good at movement. I'm almost 50 years old. So we add to that the language barrier, and I very often have no idea what's going on in these drills, and I have no idea what's expected of me. I don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong. That is one of the reasons why I prefer to just spar and fight, because at least I know what's going on. So like in this drill, I don't really know what they want me to do, but clearly I'm not doing it. Or clearly I'm not doing it right. We just did attack and defend, sort of a little bit of like a sparring kind of thing, resistance. But I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know it was like free sparring, defend however I want, do what they told me, I don't know. And the one big difference between judo, of course, and wrestling, or especially of MMA, MMA is very freeform. The practices are very freeform in there, a lot less disciplined in a way, a lot less regimented in a way. And I know that in Japanese styles, of course, you have to be more disciplined. So like, they made me wear the uniform. I showed up wearing shorts with my gi top, like I always do, and they didn't like that. They made me put on trousers. So it's a fundamental difference, I think, between judo and wrestling, and particularly judo and MMA, is that MMA is very, very free form and kind of rough, and then judo is a bit more technical and disciplined. obviously, Judo Jean LaBelle and Ronda Rousey have done more to promote judo than probably anybody else, other than Jigoro Kano, the founder. But I still think that judo is the untapped resource in MMA, and that's why I got interested in judo a few months ago, and I decided to start taking some lessons. Very sporadic. This is probably like my 14th lesson of judo, so I'm still terrible at it, and I hesitate to make a lot of opinions about it. But what I've seen from the Nawaza on the ground was that I think it depends from school to school, teacher to teacher, style to style, how effective the Nawaza is. The guys here seem to be very good. They seem to be on par with guys I would see in a jiu-jitsu gym or an MMA gym, let's say. I don't want to judge what happens in jiu-jitsu because I've never been in a jiu-jitsu gym, but in an MMA gym, I tell you we're on par, except that then we don't know how they would fare without jackets. So that's the other question there. But in general, I think that judo might be the untapped resource that people need to explore. I feel that way about Sanda too, but Sanda is not readily available everywhere in the world. But every city in the world has multiple opportunities to learn judo. Judo schools, YMCA, universities, high schools that offering judo classes. So I think it might be something to explore. I was going for a wrestling sacrifice throw there, but I didn't quite get it. I guess I wasn't controlling one of his arms well enough, and he was able to catch himself and get top position. Let that be a lesson for you kids. Position before submission. These videos are shot on my second night at the judo school, and I seem to do a lot better in the sparring. My wrestling seems to have translated a lot better. The clothing makes such a huge difference. First of all, because it's over 30 degrees in here, but also in wrestling, when you do side control, it's a little bit loose, you can escape, you can certainly breathe. And in judo, when you get side control, it's twice as tight because his clothing and your clothing together. And then number two, sometimes the clothing goes right on your face and you can't breathe. There's times I've actually tapped just from side control, or during training, I'll just get in some very disadvantageous position. I'll just tap because it's going to take too much energy to get out. But the clothing makes a real difference. And that is one of the criticisms, of course, for MMA is when judo guys go to MMA and they can't wear the clothes, what difference will it make for them? Obviously, if they're good at this, though, they can learn the other one. Transitioning from one to the other takes a lot of getting used to. Plus, I'm just not particularly good, which is another issue. These guys are wild maniacs. Look at them. They are awesome. I don't know what judo's supposed to look like, but this is cool. Because I'm so new to judo, I get taken down a lot. Very difficult for me to defend these throws because I don't see them coming. However, on the ground, I seem to be pretty good at getting the reversals. I can get top position even though it means utilizing the clothing, but I have a very limited arsenal of submissions because I've never studied jiu-jitsu, and I'm not sure if these neck cranks and face cranks are even legal.